Hey guys, XJ9 here, and today's gonna be the 11.23 notes. It's preseason, so gonna be interesting. I'm gonna get like right into this. It's quite long. I read some of it, just kind of like the jungle changes and like the bug fixes. I haven't really looked at the items, so this should be interesting overall. I kind of know some things they did though, so this blah blah blah. This is about into the arcane. That doesn't matter right now. So objective bounties. So objective bounties. Uh, Pretty much how this works is like essentially they want let's just read what Riot has to say about this. Objective bounties are another way for losing teams to get back into the game. In addition to the two champion bounties, they grant extra gold rewards for taking objectives when a team is far behind and are designed to be hard to claim, but not impossible. We still want the winning team's lead to matter, so losing teams will have to capture multiple objectives in order to cash out, because a single bounty won't pay out very much. We hope that objective bounties will allow you to execute big brain strats, Jesus, to equalize the game, rather than having to wait around to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes. Yeah, that's what you pretty much have to do now. Objective Objective bounties activate only when a team is sufficiently behind, and objectives that'll pay out bounties are highly on the minimap for both teams. If the losing team takes an objective with an active bounty, each of its members will receive objective bounty gold. So essentially, Baron, Elder Dragon, Fire Gold, Drakes and Dragons, and Rift Herald, Fire Gold. Outer turret, 250 gold. Inner turret, 400 gold. Base turret, 400 gold. What do we call it? Objective bounties are calculated in the background based on four factors: XP lead, gold lead, dragon lead, and turret lead. It's interesting. It's also a dragon lead. That's actually calculated when they activate each. I wonder if they'll actually give the values of like you know how much is a dragon lead. I don't even know. When they activate, each objective available to the team that's behind gains a bounty. Bounty starts at the following, split evenly amongst all five members, and I already get the value. First of all, it's interesting that they're doing the dragon lead because, well, it is objective bounty, so like sometimes you would actually be losing, but you're actually even like you're like on third dragon. They have no dragons, and so it's probably actually won't help you in those cases unless it's like barely matters. And like I don't even know honestly, but like that's quite interesting that they are factoring in the stats that the dragons give. Sorry. Uh, sorry, I didn't mute myself there. As the losing team falls farther behind, these base amounts can increase up to an additional 60%. The exact bounty for each reward will be visible under the losing team's objective icons in the tab menu. Objective bounties activate 15 seconds after a team falls below the threshold, and deactivates 15 seconds after they rise above it. This deactivation timer extends if the losing team remains in combat with an objective that has an active bounty. So, I mean, pretty much it only matters for objectives. It doesn't matter with getting kills or anything. Um, it is true though. I've seen a lot of games where like you can be doing fine kills and then it's like, oh, we have no turrets, and you'll kill the turret, and so when you kill like those turrets, like the outer turrets and stuff, it will add up, and if you're really behind, it will add up even more. It's also based on XP, gold, dragon, and turrets, not kills. So yeah, just if someone has a lot of kills, that person getting the kills might be killing someone worth very little gold, for example. So that's interesting. Overall, probably sounds neat. Hopefully, it plays out well. People also, it probably will help people not give up and stuff because like, oh, they either dragon were a bit behind. You can do Rift Herald, get a ton of bonus gold because thing about Rift Herald is that it's 500 gold for your whole team. So that's as in like 100 gold to everyone. So that's quite nice. So that sounds good, I guess. Jungle changes. Yeah, so they're gonna be making 11.23 have these two dragons happen more often. I think with like the area effect. Chemtech. I already read this stuff, but like Chemtech Drake or Dragon. Jeez, I don't like Drake. Um, the the buff is grants up to 5% bonus damage per stack against enemies with 340 to 1020. Your level 1 through 18. More current health than you. Uh, when a team obtains the Dragon Soul, they receive a buff that grants them a brief second life upon their next death. Champions revive with 80% of their base HP plus 50% of their bonus HP and gain 75 to 30% movement speed, decay movement speed. Revived champions take 40% less damage, deal 33% less damage, and take that's interesting. They take less damage and take damage equal to an ever increasing percentage of their starting health every 0.25 seconds. Um, Chemtech Rift. Gas zones emerge in 4 jungle locations that camouflage any champion within it. Champions within the zone deal up to 10% more damage to enemies who have more current health in them. Maximum damage is achieved when at 340 to 1020 based on attacker's level, less HP than them. Camouflaged enemies are not revealed. Camouflaged enemies are not revealed by regular vision words, but are revealed by control words, Scryer's blooms, and effects that reveal invisible units. They're also revealed while you're standing near them. So pretty much like any other camouflage. Um, the Dragon Soul again will probably barely happen because that rarely happens in games. That's quite strong. Which I decide it's probably. I mean, just have to see how it plays out. How strong is the buff you get for each dragon though? It's also bonus damage that applies to everything you do. Not sure if it applies to true damage. It might apply to true damage because some things do apply to true damage, such as Abyssal Mask. Um, it's gonna be very strong on champions that are more assassiny. And I don't know. It's hard to understand how strong this is, honestly. But I don't know. Just see how it plays out. I think the biggest thing is just the camouflage effect is interesting. You're going to play quite differently because of it. Um, I don't think you're going to even show on the like if someone else is in the mist. I don't think they're even going to show. I don't even know honestly. Hextech Dragon grants the buff is grants 5 ability haste and 5% attack speed per stack. That is extremely strong. It's just some raw stats and applies to ultimate ability haste. So yeah, that's just really strong in general to have. That's just really nice. When a team attains the Dragon Soul, the Hextech Dragon Soul, they gain a Chain Lightning slow on their next basic attack or ability that deals 25 to 70%, 75%, not percent, 75 true damage based on champion levels 1 through 18, balances the 3 additional targets, and slows units hit by 45 to 35% melee slash range, plus 5% per 1000 bonus HP, plus 1% per 100 AP, plus 3% per 100 bonus 80 for 2 seconds, 8-second cooldown. Let's just read the next thing. Pairs of hex gates appear across the map, which allows champions to quickly travel from one location to its pair counterpart. Hex gates are activated with a brief channel and can be interrupted by immobilizes or damage. Each pair of hex gates has a 30-second cooldown per champion. I'm not sure if it means they can go like across from like blue side to red side or not, or if it's well actually based on the look of it, yes, I actually didn't see it. So yeah, so if you look at this map, it's probably maybe a bit hard to see, but there's a little blue outline. There's 2 gates at the nexus where you can go to the red buff, and there's a gate like a dragon where you can go behind. That's quite interesting. That'd be interesting how it plays out. There's even a hex gate right on blue side where uh, you can go to it and go right behind the dragon pit for a steal, which is quite huge. What's the channel time? I'm not sure what the channel time is because they don't actually say it, but that's right. Red's just very interesting in general. Yeah, and red side has the ability to have dragon steals. Um, I think this will also help. I mean, again, this is not something that happens every game, but I feel like when this thing happens, it actually kind of balances out the sides more. Where, oh, blue side has a hard time stealing Baron, and red side has a hard time stealing Dragon. Where now it's if you this gate exists, you can actually go and do that. However, people can play around it and cancel the channel. Let's read that buff. What's that Dragon Soul buff? So it's pretty much a static shiv. It bounces the 3 additional targets, so it hits 4 targets total. Your target plus the 3 other targets. Slows them. Oh, how strong is the slow? Plus 5%. The only thing that scales is the slow. The range slow is very strong. It's very strong for any kiting champion because of its abilities as well. That's why it's really oppressive in general because it's gonna slow everyone, and you can and if a team's coordinating, they can also like apply the slow whatchamacallit, like use ability then they wait. I also don't think items like Leandri's would proc it, so that's also to keep in mind. That just sounds alright. Cloud Dragon is getting buffed. Dragon buff was 12 ability haste. Now it's 3.5% out of common movement speed plus 3.5% slow resistance. That sounds nice because some champions don't really benefit from the alternate ability haste that much. So uh, it's just to help more champions benefit instead of like, oh, if you're playing like Udi or something, it does absolutely nothing pretty much. Um, I hope I'm guessing they also changed. They might have forgot to change like Shyvana's ultimate because she gains I think Fury faster with it, or I think that's only the no, it's only the Dragon Soul. I don't think the Dragon buff even does anything. I don't really know. That's their job. Rift Scholar XP is reduced. The first Rift Scholar will now have 35% reduced HP, grants 80% reduced XP, and has slightly reduced in size to match its lower value. The 80% XP does not impact the bonus XP granted by the Huntsman passive on jungle start items. So, I'm not sure if you'll hit level 4 anymore through doing all but one camp and then scuttle. I don't think you will. But that's nice, and overall, I think it's good to not have the games decided just because some guy got double scuttle. It means that some slower clearing jungles can even just benefit from not even doing scuttle, and just just do a full clear or whatever, or just not even do the scuttle. I don't like the incentive. I don't like how important it was to get the scuttle. It's just really stupid, honestly. Because I just feel like some games are so decided by that. So it's nice to see. It's also only the first scuttle, so the other scuttles will be high experience. Oh gosh, my nose is being clogged and stuff. So first new item, Crown of the Shattered Queen. So what this does is it's 2,800 gold, pretty cheap. Builds out of Lost Chapter, a Kindle Gem, Amplifying Tome, and 265 gold. Ability power 70, quite high. Health 250, mana 600. Already, it's not actually even that good on junglers. Well, it can be good on junglers, but it's like the only time you really get it, like, is on like Lily, for instance, has to get Leandri's, and she doesn't really benefit from the mana that much. Although you could argue she does because she spams a lot. So that's something to keep in mind. Ability haste 20. Safeguard passive. You are safeguarded, reducing incoming champion damage by 75%. That's a lot. I thought it was 50%. Safeguard persists for 1.5 seconds after taking champion damage. 40-second cooldown restarts upon taking damage from an enemy champion. Poise passive. While safeguarded and for 3 seconds after it's broken, gain 10 to 40 based on champion's level ability power. Um, that's quite strong as well because it means so again, like when you're not even doing anything, well, you just give ability haste, so essentially they may give ability power. So this just helps you. I don't know. Have if you have a high AD ratio champion, it helps a lot. And also, when you get jumped on, you pretty much are stronger for those short 3 seconds after. Mythic passive grants all other legendary items 1% movement speed and 8 ability power. That's also quite strong of a mythic passive. That's actually very strong. Um, Overall, this item's probably really good for people who are like not really that confident, but in like laning or something. But also, this is really good if you're like losing. If you're losing, you also just build this, and you probably won't die. So yeah, it sounds like a really situational pick. Like, oh, the game's looking bad. Like, oh, the Rengar's 2-0 already. Like 5 minutes in the game. I'm playing Lilia. I might actually go buy this just because it makes you so tanky, so you can actually do things. So situational pickup. I actually like this item a lot. However, it might be a bit strong. Like, I have a feeling it might be abused by certain like champions. Like, I think certain unhealthy playstyles might emerge where like someone who's really ahead might build this item and just like demolish people, and you can't even kill them. So we'll see. Uh, Even Shroud, I guess. 2,500 gold. Kindred Gem, Aegis Allegiance with 300 gold. Pretty sure it's a support item. 200 health, 20 ability haste, 30 armor, 30 magic resist. Uh, uh, I'm just going to Koru. I'm going to say that word. After immobilizing champions or being immobilized, cause that target and all nearby enemies to repent, increasing damage they take by 12% for 5 seconds. Mythic passives grant all other legendary items 5 armor and 5 magic resist. After immobilizing, so it's interesting that like if people go on you, uh, they're gonna cause like so if a Leona built this, and I go on her, it causes me and all other targets near me. I also don't know the. It depends how near other targets have to be, but that's kind of crazy. That, like, if you jump on the support who has this, they take a lot of damage. This item just seems very strong in general. It also just seems like it has a cooldown, so if people go on the support with CC and stuff, they actually take more damage. Hmm. It's interesting they say they want to focus on engaging offensively when it's like, well, you can get engaged on and you'll still proc it. So that's quite interesting. Like like say you're jumping on someone and then people go on you, you'll apply the debuff if they CC you, and it applies it in AOE. So yeah, this item might be overtuned in all honesty, but we'll see. This is a big tanky support thing. You're probably gonna see a lot more tanky supports uh, come through. Honestly, this is again more, I did more offensive. If you feel like you don't need Locket's protection, because this is pretty much an offensive Locket in a sense. Exium Arc, 3,000 gold, Serrated Dirk plus Caulfield's Warhammer plus 800 gold. Attack damage 55, ability haste 25, lethality 10, flux passive. Whenever an enemy champion dies within 3 seconds after you've damaged them, refund 25% of your ultimate's total cooldown. That is nuts. What's right? How to say about this? Prior to the Yeoman's Ghostblade buffs in patch 11.17, there weren't many options for assassins to pick up ability haste. Exium Arc is a new legendary item designed to be a ability haste pickup while also allowing ability focused assassins to snowball a lead. Um, this is very interesting because this item might like for instance, like I'm trying to think of items that are really good on like what. So overall, like for instance, let's pick up an item. So let's look up some mythic items with lethality fast before I say stuff. Let's look at like Eclipse and I don't know, Dustblade and Prowler's Claw. The Prowler Claw has 60, 80, 18 lethality, 11, 18. So this one, so it's five. This is 5 less than AD than Prowler's Claw, 8 less lethality. Has 5 more ability haste though, and sorry, 200 less gold. Eclipse is 55 AD, same as this. 18 lethality though, and doesn't give any ability haste. And Dustblade is 18 lethality, 60 AD, 20. That ability haste is just so high. That's really nice. Um. Also, this is not even a mythic. I don't think no. This is not even a mythic. Wow, that's actually great. Okay, I don't know. To me, that passive. Okay, that's actually. This is not even a mythic. I don't think. But I ask it because there's no mythic passive. Because this is so I thought it was a mythic because this was flux passive, but that's just the passive of the item, which is interesting. So anyway, I'm not sure why I'm comparing this to mythics, but overall, this seems very strong. It's probably stronger early, so you might even buy this first instead of other items. I mean, maybe it's okay to compare it to mythics because again, some builds call for building, like Blade of the Rune King before doing an actual mythic item because it's better or whatever. It's quite interesting. So, hmm. So let's think about like I'm thinking of like what champions would be good on. Like I'm obviously probably good on champions like Talon and Rengar, but like other champions that might be very good on is even champions like Vi who has a very long cooldown on her ultimate, and because the refund is 25% of your total ultimate cooldown, which is nuts. It's not like the current one, and if you get multiple kills, it just kind of blows up. This item just seems overall pretty busted. I'm gonna be absolutely honest. Like, like the fact that like you just need to damage them within 3 seconds and they die. Like, so even if you get assist, it won't proc it. Like, it depends. It's a very volatile item. I guess you got to see how it plays out. But it has extremely high value if you're playing someone who like just either smashes people when their ultimate's not down, like you ult kill someone and you don't need your ult to kill other people, or someone who engages with their ult does a ton of damage and gets like multiple kills or assists. So yeah, pretty interesting item. Definitely gonna try it out, I guess. Shadowflame. Uh, Total cost 3,000 gold. Build path Hex Tech Alternator Large Rod 700 gold. Ability power 100, health 200. Cinder Bloom passive. Damage to champions. Damage to champions benefits from 10 to 20 magic penetration based on the target's current HP. Maximum value at 1000 or less HP. Minimum value at 2500 or more HP. Gains the maximum magic penetration if the target was recently affected by shields. That's very interesting as well. So, yeah, if you have a Lulu and you just go on them, again, we don't sure about how many seconds, after or before, or yeah, like the shield expired, so we don't know that. But yeah, the lower they are, the more magic penetration you have, which is quite interesting. Um, so it's not that good against tanks. It's very good against squishies though. Um, hmm. Just thinking about it, but again, it's not actually a mythic again. Gives HP, gives ability power. Hmm. Trying to think like what does Riot to say? Offensive options for mages have been quite narrow, especially for those who wanted legendary items to simply deal more damage. Shadowflame should let you blow up your opponents and will be extra spicy against those who stop your damage with shields on shields on shields. Um, It's interesting. I feel like this is like something you would build after Void Staff because again, Void Staff is such a cost-effective item. It might be better than Void Staff. I'm not sure. I'm not doing the math here. It might be better than Void Staff though, and they might be trying to encourage people not to rush Void Staff second or whatever. But people might still do that and then build this third. I'm trying to think on champions like Evelyn. Like, is this really that useful? For instance, I mean, I don't I don't know. It's a very interesting item. It's just you just think of items like Death Cap and Void Staff when you look at this item and go, are those better than this? It's an interesting item. I'm not sure what to think about it honestly. Winter's Approach. Total cost 2600 gold. Build path Tear of the Goddess, Kindle Gem, Ruby Crystal plus 1000 gold. Build no health 400, mana for 500. So already it's kind of like not a jungle item. Ability haste 15. All passive. Gain bonus health equal to 8% mana. Mana mana charge passive. Strike an enemy with an ability or all attack to consume a charge and gain 3 bonus mana. Doubled if the target is a champion. Grants a maximum 360 mana, at which point the item transfers to Fumble Winter. Tanks who need mana who can really struggle during team fights as they slowly grind through their. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this might even be good on a champion like a Mumu who can run out of mana a lot. I mean, that's the last time I played him, but who knows? Depends on how. This is kind of a tank. Tear of the Gods item for tanks, which is interesting. I think what other champions would really struggle with mana. I mean, again, it's more of a lane item, but yeah, we'll keep going. Fumble Winter. So health 400, mana 860, ability hits 15, stats are the same. Same all passive, everlasting passive, slowing melee only, or immobilizing. So slowing or immobilizing an enemy champion consumes 3% of current mana and grants a shield for 3 seconds, absorbing 100 to 200 plus 5% current mana damage. 8-second cooldown. The shield is increased by 80% if more than one enemy is nearby. We don't know what nearby means. It's very interesting. It's not really a jungle item, which is kind of sad. Like even a Sejuani item, like I'm not sure how. Like it depends how valuable the passive. Like if does it scale so well that it's actually extremely tanky. Like that I would want it on like a Sejuani. I don't know. It look. I honestly have no clue about that one. I mean, I'm looking through champions right now. Like again, I'm not thinking about top lane because I'm sure there's plenty of top laners who could benefit from this. Hmm. I wouldn't really even say King because they fixed his mana issues a long time ago, so it doesn't. It's more of again a tank item, so that doesn't make any sense. It's probably really not for jungle in all honesty. So yeah, we're gonna see how that one plays out. Hard to say because I don't really play that stuff and I don't really care right because I'm not playing that role. Um, Tank items, tank mythics sort of feel like reskins of each other right now, and the choices aren't very cool or satisfying, just a bunch of different ways to burn people. These updates should create more distinction while still giving you the durability you need to succeed. We also gave the tank mythic passives a bit more health, so your stats progress better throughout the game. Tank legendaries had a different issue where the MR options felt really light aside from Spirit Visage, so we're heightening the fantasies of other choices like Force of Natures and Abyssal Mask. Uh, Interesting. Bomby Cinder. Update. Immolate passive. Now also executes minions that would be killed by one more tick of Immolate. Uh, what? Immolate was meant to help with wave clear, but would often throw off your CSing because your own minions would steal hits. We're adding a small quality helper to help you miss fewer of them. The update takes effect on all items that have the passive. Um, so I guess it just goes off immediately instead of having to be delayed. So I don't know. I guess that's whatever. I think that's fine. Again, it kind of helps jungles because when they're helping push lanes, they get more of that CS. I guess I don't know. Frostfire Gauntlet. So the update: Snowbind passive. Basic attacks create a frost field that slow enemies. Now it's basic attacks create a frost field for 1.5 seconds that deal 20 to 100 plus 0.5% max 8 health, magic damage to all enemies in there. All enemies, so kind of good for AoE farming or if people are grouped up. Enemies that move across the field are slowed. Slow rate and cooldown is unchanged. Everything else is unchanged. Well, first off, I want to see if the frost field lasts for the same amount of time or not. So deal not that. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same frost field duration. So, hmm. So immolate passive is the same. So basic. So right now, all it does is just make a slow field, and I don't know if the thing they don't mention is if the field doesn't get bigger the more HP you have. But I'm assuming maybe I'm not quite sure because because if they didn't get rid of that, this only just means this item has got a ton of damage added to it, which is kind of funny. Like all this was it's still wait yes because it says uh basic attacks uh they put basic attacks a create what they meant to put create okay, see, no Riot Games is tripping me up. Basic attacks create yeah they meant to put create a they put a create frost. Oh my goodness. Base attacks create a frost field that slows enemies. So, I mean, according to this, it says enemies that move across. I mean, it's still. Um, yeah, enemies that move across the field are slowed. So it still does that. So literally, all this does is just do damage. I'm not sure if you enter it if it does damage. I'm assuming just on hit it applies 20 to 100 plus 0.5 max HP. That's, overall, this is a big like again power creep buff, right? Because I don't think it's actually losing anything. I'm not sure why they're acting like this is like oh like it still does what it does. It just does more. So whatever. um. So supercharge active, the same active, it's not changed. Refuel passive. Well, first off, they removed the passive. Deals damage. Yeah, they kept that passive. Agree. So the immolate passive on Chem Tank is removed, so you don't deal damage to nearby enemies. Update the mythic passive. Empowers each of your other legendary items with 5 ability haste and 50 HP. What was it before? It was just 5 ability haste, so now it gives HP. So that's nice. So the new passive is moving and dealing damage fills up this Chem Tank. At 100 stacks, your dex-based attack deals 40 to 120 plus 1% max health plus 3% movement speed. Magic damage to all nearby enemies increased by 25% against minions and 175% against jungle monsters. So yeah, if you buy a item, you need to like move around the jungle for optimal damage. So let's think about this: moving and dealing damage. So this isn't even active. I'm just essentially it acts like an energized effect. I'm assuming. and probably the same rate. Your next base attack deals 40 to 120 plus 120. So first off, the cooldown on this. What was the cooldown on the Frostfire Gauntlet? The Frostfire Gauntlet was a 4 to 6 second cooldown, 4 seconds for melee. So this has no cooldown because you charge it. But champion that can attack fast can benefit a lot from this. Um, so it essentially does the field, it just won't slow. Hmm. So I'm going for a gank. My next hit will do 40 to 120 damage plus 1% max HP, 3% movement speed to all enemies. Hmm. It's more burst. I guess it's bursty because this is just that's max HP but doesn't do as much damage. It's also calculates the movement speed. You think of Hecarim or something fast. It might be good on Hecarim, but I don't know. Hecarim likes getting 80 because his 80 and scalings are very good. Um. Hmm. I mean, again, the item is still for champions that just want to get on someone, I guess. Hmm. I don't know. Got to see how that works, but it doesn't. The thing is that you don't have the immolate passive, so yeah, it might be kind of shitty for clearing. But the damage seems like it does a lot because it's increased by 175%. So it shouldn't be an issue. It probably will have about the same clearing. I think it'll actually be fine. Um, I don't know. To see how it plays out, I guess. I mean, it's pretty much the same item. It's just how there's no dot on the bleed. The fire damage is just all in that one hit. Hmm. Interesting. Right now, the Frostfire Gauntlet is the one that got mega buff. Like this is just a mega buff in general, unless they change anything that they're not mentioning. Sunfire Aegis. Um. Yep. Sunfire is the most expensive mythic. It was underwhelming. Yep. Okay. So cost is the same. Health is the same. Ability haste is the same. Armor is from 30 now it's 35. Magic resist was 30 now it's 35. They're keeping Immolate. They're keeping both passives the same. And Mythic passive empowers each of your other legendary items with 5% slow resist, 5% tenacity, and 50 HP. So I think just added HP. So overall, they just gave it more stats. So and the Mythic passive. So I guess that's nice. But like, yeah, I think the big thing here is the Frostfire Gauntlet. Like, unless like I'm misreading or they not put something here, this thing just got like a giant buff because it still immolates. Like it's not like it doesn't immolate, because it's unchained. So I'm assuming it keeps the immolate passive, which so this thing is just mega strong. um, yep, I don't know. That's all I gotta say about that. That's pretty much Sunfire can be nice. It's just so expensive. Like I even still I don't know. It's just really expensive. The stats is probably nice though. Help against like MR. Like so like if you need like now it's probably like, to have fine. You probably be fine at MR just building this honestly now. The turbo chimney sounds interesting. Again, it just depends on. It's more bursty than anything, so it just need to see how champions like Hecarim do with it. And yeah, Frostbite Gauntlet just seems like it's the big outlier here, where it just got mega buffed because it literally just got extra damage, and because it doesn't actually do damage right now. So yeah, it's just hilarious. Abyssal Mask. Total cost 2700, unchanged. Build path. It was Giant's Belt, Negatron Cloak, 900 gold. Now it's Kindle Gem, Spectre's Cowl plus 650 gold. Now its health was 400, now it's 450. New ability haste 10, so now it gives ability haste. Magic resist was 60, now it's only 30. Oh my god, they nerfed the hell out of it. Update, Unmag passive. Immobilizing enemy champions increases damage they take by 50% for 5 seconds. This was actually very strong. The thing is, only certain champions could actually build this item, and they would build a second or third, or usually third. Champions that come to mind that would build this, or champions like Sejuani and Zac. The thing is, they need other things to survive, and you typically buy this like third item, and games usually end. So yeah. So now the passive is curse nearby enemy champions, reducing their magic resist by 5 plus 1% bonus health, max 20. For each cursed enemy, gains 7 magic resist. So that's nice. So Yeah, if you even get 2 people, you go back to 44 magic resist. You gain. Okay, that's pretty fair. They're making this more of a. Yeah, they're trying to make this more for AP tank slash helping AP damage and all damage. Like this item was definitely like I'm not joking. This item was like an underused item in general. I think this item was incredibly strong. I don't know how it is now, but it's more situational now. I would say. Because the 50% damage helped true damage as well, which was actually quite insane. Um, Curse nearby enemy champions, reducing their magic resist by 5 plus 1. Okay, so you can only reduce their magic resist by 20. Hmm. I mean, I guess it's alright. But, like, even champions like Sejuani, it's like, they don't actually really deal with magic damage. Their W is physical. Their autos are physical. The only thing that's magic is their R and their E. I'm also not sure how it works. Is this curse them nearby? Like, what's the range? Is there any other requirement? Like, it doesn't say the range. So again, it's hard to judge this item. Honestly, overall, it's just really hard to judge this item. Overall, it can be good if you're playing like a tank, and because it gives it a little bit more HP, it gives ability haste. You can maybe bias like second. It's also, for instance, like Doctor Mundo couldn't really build this before, but now he can. It gives ability haste too, so you could potentially, if you're versing a big AP threat, you can get this item. So, for instance, like before this item was unplayable because he can't immobilize an enemy champion, so he gets a little bit more HP. Same gold cost. It's only 2,700 gold. He has 10 ability haste, which is good. The magic resist is just because, well, it only really matters when you're a champion. So by default, you should realistically have 37 magic resist at all times when you're versing a champion. Again, we don't know the range. So if Dr. Mundo goes in, you curse nearby enemy champions, and then you reduce everyone's magic resist by 5 plus 1% bonus health. Um, I mean, you only need how much bonus health? Like 1%. You don't even need that much, don't you? I don't think you do. Yeah, oh, you only need 1500. Yeah, you need 1500 bonus HP, which is that's quite a bit. But like Dr. Moon does a lot of magic damage with his cleaver, so yeah, I would say it's situational. You know, I might try it out, but yeah, it's a situational. I mean, I don't know. That's all I gotta say. It's such a weird. I just don't like not knowing the range. It makes my mind kind of explode with like, oh, I don't know this one thing is pissing me off. Force of nature. Health 350 unchanged. Magic resist 60. Now it's 70, so it got increased by 10. Movement speed is the same. Uh, Update absorb. So before you said taking ability damage grants bonus movement speed and magic resist stack up to 5 times. Each unique ability grants 1 stack. Now it's taking magic damage from enemy. Uh, so now notice that it's before it's ability damage. So I think it includes uh, like physical damage, but maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Taking magic damage from enemy champions grants a stack of steadfast mastics for 5 seconds, and enemy immobilized effects grant an additional 2 stacks. Hmm. So I'm guessing it's the same passive because they don't really elaborate. So I'm guessing. Oh my god, I don't know who wrote this. New dissipate though. While at 6 stacks of steadfast, take 20% reduced magic damage and gain 10% increased movement speed. Again, it just seems like this would be a really good item against like I don't know, a big AP team, I guess. So I guess that's nice. It does have more MR. It also reduces 20% flat, but also you can just buy an Athemus Chains, which gives HP. Hmm. I'm guessing the steadfast thing doesn't do anything. It's just a very weird item. I mean, what does Riot have to say about it? Force of Nature was meant to fill the void data help left behind, but its value straddles between stacking resistances and movement speed. We've condensed and buffed its effects a bit. It should not be the go-to option when facing heavy magic comps or high DPS mages like Rise or Cassiopeia. Um, I don't know. I mean, I gotta try it out. I guess just gotta see how strong that movement speed and the reduced magic damage buff is. Honestly, because it's 20% magic reduced magic damage on top of 70 magic resist, so it's probably quite strong. You probably also don't need to buy Merc Shreds if you're getting this item, but also gives movement speed as well. I don't need to try it out. It's interesting. Knight's Vow. Health is the same. Base health regen went from 300% to 150%. Ability haste 10. Pledge active unchanged. Update sacrifice passive. So now it doesn't do what it does before. Now it's while your worthy ally is nearby, redirect 10% of damage they take to you and heal for 8% of the damage they deal to champions. If they have less than 30% HP, redirect 20% of the they take to you instead. So it actually helps people getting bursted. Um, so yeah, it actually doesn't even care if you're because before the old one was while you and your ally while your worthy ally is nearby and you are above 30% maximum HP, reject 50% of the damage they take to you. If they are below 50% of their maximum HP, gain 35% movement speed towards them. So yeah, now it doesn't even care if you're about to die. I think you can probably die from this item, which is actually hilarious. Um, so it pretty much reduces 10% damage they'll take, so it helps burst. If they have less than 30% HP, so they can burst by a Rengar. So now it doubles to 20%. So yeah, it sounds pretty good. I think the big thing that kind of sucked before is that yeah, it just didn't work if you got chunked. So yeah, that's good. Um, that's good. Aegis Legion total cost was 1,500 gold. Now it's 1,400 gold. Um, so yeah, it's interesting. They just reduced the gold of that. Wait. Gargoyle Stone Plate. Total gold was 300. This got lowered by 100 gold apparently. Wait. Ugh. Combined cost of Lacos Slurry was 200 gold. Now it's 300 gold. Total cost unchanged. Um, Mage items. So they're changing some things. So Everfrost. This is Hero Riot has to say. We want to offer a cheaper tier of mythics for AP banner users who don't want luxury damage options right away. So we're bringing Everfrost price down to match the new Mage mythic Crown of the Shadow Queen. This way, banner users can opt into cheaper items if they need an earlier spike. Total cost was 3,200. Now it's 2,800 gold. Build pass was Kindle Gem, Lost Chapter, Blasting One plus 250 gold. And now it's Kindle Gem, Lost Chapter, Amplifying Tome plus 265 gold. So that's quite nice. Ability power was I think that's an 80. Now it's 70. Health is the same. Mana is the same. Ability haste is the same. The active is the same. Update mythic passive grants all other legendary items 50% ability power. Now it's 10 ability power. Overall, I would even say this is quite a big buff because it pretty much just means you get if you get this item, you can make a big. Yeah, they're just trying to make this a bigger power spike item. It's less stronger scaling. I like that though overall because I think it's a very strong item, and I think if you are opting for it, you should probably be like, oh, this guy's going for some early game stuff. So that's nice. Demonic Embrace. Ability power is 70, now it's 60. Health was 350, now it's 450. Updated the Gaze passive. Dealing damage, ability damage burns enemies for 2% for melee, 1.2% for range, max health damage every second for 4 seconds. Narvalar grants bonus resistances while enemies burn. New Dark Pact passive. Gain 2% of your bonus health as ability power. So, this is for, I guess, again, this is a AP Bruiser type of item. Let's even look at the item right now. Because I'm pretty sure that they just buffed the melee portion of it for melees who want to build this item, which is quite huge. Because whenever they do this, it usually makes stuff. Yeah, so they buffed the melee portion of this. So if a Mord builds this, for instance, he's going to benefit a lot more from it. What are some other champions? I mean, even champions like Diana can benefit a lot from this now. Um, if they build tanky as well. It's very interesting because it can even be good on a champion like Evelynn if they're getting bursted because it gives more HP. The ability power is okay; it's a fair trade, but it does give 2% of your bonus HP as ability power. But again, like 1,000 bonus HP is only 20 ability power. It's just very slight. Um, the thing with Evelynn though, again, is she's melee, so she actually benefits quite a lot from this. So this item is quite interesting, where it like an assassin like Evelynn, it can actually benefit. Like the burn damage can help, and it's just makes it a lot tankier. So Yeah, this is a very interesting item because again, like champions who you wouldn't think that would benefit from this will actually benefit a lot. I immediately think of Evelyn like just build a what's a high HP item? I mean, either Hextech or Night Harvester, and then build this item. That might be a very strong build. Because it does burn. It burns the jungle camps as well, so you'll do more damage. I'm also not sure if they ever fixed the damage cap on this item because it kills Baron very fast. So yeah, on champions like Lilia though, it's pretty much the same. She gets better stats out of it too. So Evelyn doesn't actually really build much. But games are usually over in 2-3 items anyway, so it doesn't actually matter. So yeah, this item is actually very strong. Like let's even think of some other champions that might actually benefit a lot from this type of item. Another champion that might even benefit is like a Mumu can even benefit because again he's melee and it's tanky. Um, what else? I mean, even a champion like Echo, it can be good. Hmm. Trying to think of like unorthodox things. What else is like unorthodox? Like maybe even Cassidon. Probably not though. I think his build's like really. I think it's a very specific build he has to do. Mord is definitely very good though. Who else is it we get on? You need to have some form of AP ratio. I mean, yeah, I mean, even Zach can benefit from this. Which is, yeah, if you're really lacking damage, Zach can build this. So yeah, this is like I don't know. I like again the fact you lose the resistances isn't really that big of a trade off considering you got the HP and you can do more damage. So yeah, champions like Zach and Evelyn gonna do really well with this. It seems even champions like Malphite, I guess, but no one really plays that champion. I mean, what else? I mean, even Gwen. This would be a good item on Gwen, probably. I don't think Gwen. Do even people build this item on Gwen? I don't think they even do. They probably do. It's just a late item to get, honestly. They do. It has a high win rate. It's such a late item. You might even build this earlier just because how strong it is on melees. So yeah, quite interesting. I just like it just gives a lot of HP. So that's a thing to keep in mind with that item. Archangel Staff. Gold cost is the same. The total cost. Build path is changed. Now it's Tierra Goddess, Kindle Gem, Blasting on to 950 gold. Um, so you don't need a large rod, and you don't need the Amplifying Tome. Interesting. Ability power is lowered by 5 from 65 to 60. New health 200. Interesting. Gives high HP. Mana is the same. Updated passive grants ability power equal to 3% bonus mana, but that's what it was. Now it's gaining ability haste equal to 0.5% bonus mana. Hmm. Interesting. I wonder why. Archangel and Seraphs were basically just big, powerful sticks of AP and mana this year. Repression better to fit spell-sing, battle mages, and bruiser playstyle. So, interesting. Seraph's Embrace. It was 65 ability power, now it's 80. Health 250. All passive. Now it's gain ability haste equal to 1.3% of bonus mana once it's upgraded. So from 0.5 to 1.3. Um, That's also important to note because, for instance, the all passive on both Archangels and Seraphs before this was always 3% bonus mana. So now when it upgrades, it becomes a lot stronger. It becomes over twice as strong, from 0.5 to 1.3%. That's something to keep in mind. That is actually, like, I think they're really trying to go for the scaling type of thing here instead of like people were building this item and like it wasn't really like punishing them. Like it was such a strong item flat out that it wasn't even like a scaling item. It was, but it's just so strong. The passive before was increase your maximum mana by 5% plus 2.5% per 100 AP. Now it's restore health equal to 40% of mana spent up to 20 to 50%, 25 to 50 plus 10% ability power per cast. Toggles can restore the same amount per 1 second. Um, wow, that's pretty crazy too. That's interesting. That's a very interesting sustain item. This item is very, very interesting. I could think about this for quite a while. I probably just don't want. I don't want to do that because I was talking about the other item for a bit too long, honestly. But the initial rod is the same. 5 less ability power gets 200 HP, and yeah, they're trying to now make this. They're trying to make this more of for to be super mobile and super like like just have your abilities up all the time pretty much. Hmm. How much would I be? I mean, if you have 2,000 mana, it's like 26% ability haste. And it heals you for quite nice as well. This is interesting. I don't really build these items that much, so it's hard to judge. But sounds interesting. Again, it is. It just seems more of a laner item because people like junglers don't really build mana items. So Cosmic Drive, total cost 3,000 unchanged. Build path it was Phoenix Codex, Kindle Gem, Ruby Crystal 865 gold. Now it's Phoenix Codex Aether Wisp, Ruby Crystal plus 850 gold. So overall, I like that build. That build path. I think it's quite nice. Um, I think yeah, it is. The thing you have to keep in mind is like yeah. So you get to choose between either Wisp or the Moon Speed or the Phoenix Codex. Before it was either like the Phoenix Codex or the Kindle Gem. To me, I like that more just because like if you're building this, you probably want AP, so you probably do want the early AP, not like the tanky stats it gives you, which is nice. Ability power was 80, now it's 75, so lowered by 5. Health was 200, now it's 250. Ability haste was 20, now it's 30. That's a lot more ability haste. New moon speed 5%. Oof. Updated spell dance passive. What it was before it was if you have at least 160 ability power, gain 20 ability haste and 20 bonus movement speed. Now it's damaging a champion with 3 separate attacks or spells grants 20% movement speed, gain to 10% and 40 ability power until leaving combat. So yeah, once you proc it, you gain 40 ability power and 20% movement speed. That's actually crazy. And also until leaving combat, I'm not sure if Lily's passive counts as if you're in combat or not, but regardless, that's just very strong in general. But the proc on champion like Lily, you have to like Q auto and like hit your E or W or your ultimate. So it's very strong on bursty champions such as like Cassidy. Because the chasing potential on this is absolutely nuts. Because it also got buffed by 5% movement speed. Because the old passive was this 20 bonus movement speed. Now this is 20% movement speed, decaying to 10%. Oh, it decays. So, hmm, not sure. Again, like I don't even think this item's really like going to Lilia. Probably, I think she moves fast enough, and the proc is a pain in the ass on her. So it's probably more of like a chasing down type of thing with like Castle. Horizon Focus, 3,000 gold unchanged. Build pass was Hextech Alternator, Large Rod plus 700 gold. Now it's Hextech Alternator Phoenix Codex and 1,050 gold. Ability power was 115. Now it's only 85. So rip 30 AP. Health is now 150. That's new. New is also the ability haste is now 15. So it's more diverse. Updated Hypershot passive now also applies Hypershot to slowed enemy champions. So yeah, I'm gonna assume you know how this item already works, but like if you immobilize them, it'll show them and make them deal increased damage, or if you attack them from super long range. So now, if you slow them as well, it makes the passive work. So, hmm, this item is also like because it's, it's I'm pretty sure it's like 15% more damage. I think it also applies to your teammates. Yeah, so it reveals them, increases your damage dealt to them by 10% for 6 seconds. So this item again can be very strong on a champion like Evelyn, just because well, the only way she would CC you before or hit you because she can't really hit you from far away, so she would have to CC you with Charm. But now she can like W and charm you. But then on other targets she won't actually be that strong, so that's the downside. But it does reveal them, which is also quite big as well, because revealing people is very strong. That's why they removed it from Ignite. Ability haste is also nice. This is just very interesting in general. I don't know. I don't play that many AP junglers, so like the ones I do like don't really build this thing at all. Um, it can be potentially good on like I don't know. I mean, it's pretty much the same item. Just they put the 30 AP in health and ability haste, which is nice. And it's just effects if things are slow. So I guess Lilia's little E, but the thing is that if you hit it, you're probably from far away anyway. So, whatever. Void Staff. Total cost was 2,700 gold. Now it's 2,800 gold. So that's good. Build path was Blighted Jewel, Blasting Wand plus 700 gold. Now it's Blighted Jewel plus Blast Wand plus 800 gold, just to reflect the total cost. Ability power was 70, now it's 65. Magic penetration was 40, now it's 45. What does Riot have to say about this? Voice Staff was a very powerful but generic purchase for amping up your AP and melting 3 MR. We're shifting some of its power to Magic Pen, so it's not a one-stop shop for mages who buy it. I think people are still going to buy it. I honestly don't think this even changes anything. I'm going to be absolutely honest. Like, if they nerf the ability power and nerf the Magic Pen by 5%, it'd be good, but it's just like, I don't think Riot even realizes how much 45% Magic Pen is. That is absolutely nuts. Like, just pair that with Source Shoes, whew. Like, oh, I have 90 Magic Pen, or like 90 MR. Okay, it goes to 4. Like, it pretty much, like, it was to say 100. Okay, it goes to 55. Then they have Magic Pen boots, and they have like the elite, that Magic Pen rune. Then also have like 20 MR, even though I have 100 MR. Like, I don't think this actually changes anything. They don't. I don't think Riot realizes how strong Void Staff is. I really don't. Um, Doran's Ring. They didn't change the passive, but they fixed the drain passive. Killing a unit. Now before it was killing a unit restore 6 mana. If you can't gain mana, restore 3 health instead. Now it's restore 0.75 mana, 0.75 mana every second. Damaging an enemy champion increases amount to 1.2 mana every second for 10 seconds. If you can't gain mana, restore 50% of the value as health instead. What's Riot to say about us? We're adding an incentive to Doran's Ring for champions who want to get aggressive and lane. We still want champions to have access to mana in tough matchups, so we're keeping the base mana rotation relatively high. Now that there's a bonus tree for dueling. Well, first off, let's look at Doran's Ring fast, because what the heck is focus? I think that's just a minion thing, unless that's the mana regen. Focus is base attack deal, yeah, 5, it's the 5 damage to minions. So they got rid of the drain passive. So by default, it does regen 0.75 mana a second, and before you had to kill a unit. Damage to enemy champion increases amount to 1.25 for 10 seconds. So it gets 0.5 more. Oh, interesting. I don't really lane, so I can't really say anything much about it. But it seems quite strong, and just in general, more general use saying that like, oh, if I'm buying this, I need to AFK from. Hextech Alternator. Total cost 1,050 gold, unchanged. Build path it's being changed. It was Amplifying Tome plus 180 gold. Now it's Amplifying Tome plus Ruby Crystal plus 215 gold. Ability power was 40, now it's 25. Health is on 150. Passive unchanged. What does Riot have to say about it? Hextech Alternator was one of many AP damage items that were a bit too glass candy. We are trading some of its AP for durability. This changes affects Horizon Focus and the next 3 items, all of which build for Hextech Alternator. Yeah, this is overall nice. I think this is too bursty, or like if people were building this, it's like, oh, and I'm behind. It's like you're not really helping yourself. That's nice. Hextech Rocket Belt, the cost is unchanged. They are just changing that. What are they even changing here? They're just changing the build path. The Rocket Belt was Ruby Crystal, Hextech Alternator, Blasting Wand, and 900 gold. Now it's Amplifying Tome, Hextech Alternator, Blasting Wand. So instead of Ruby Crystal, it has an Amplifying Tome, and it's a little bit more less cool actually. And the old build path with Night Harvester is it's actually the same thing. So there you go. Geez, this is super long. Uh, Lethality. So they're changing display of Drakthar. So total cost was 3,200 gold. Now it's 3,100. Build path was the Soraya Dirk Caulfield's Warhammer plus 1,000 gold. Now it's Soraya Dirk Caulfield's Warhammer plus 900 gold. So it's 100 less. Updated Night Stalker active. Bonus 80 on next attack against an enemy champion deals, and it used to be 65 plus 25% total 80. Now it's 75 plus 3% bonus 80 for melee champions. For melee, and now it's 55 plus 25% bonus 80 for range. All else unchanged. So, well, let's go with that item fast. Displayed Loki. So, yeah, I applied a range as well. I don't think there's many range assassins in this game, is there? I don't think there are. So, overall, this is quite a big buff to this item, though. Because now it just literally just deals 10 more flat damage and 5% more bonus AD. But they nerfed the range aspect. But I honestly don't think many range champions even built this item. So, well, actually no, Graves does. So, but rarely. Um, uh, I don't know. It's stronger. I'm not. They don't really explain why it was stronger though. While assassins were strong, their mythics felt lackluster. Many assassins were opting into mythics like Gordringer or Stridebreaker, and some rushed into legendaries like Yomas before their mythic. We're not opposed to flexing into unique builds, but building a lethality mythic first was almost always the weaker option. We're reducing the gap between mythics and Yomas for melee lethality users, while ranged lethality users should be relatively unaffected. Okay, well, yeah, that's a bit understandable then. Okay, they're trying to. Okay, I understand. Okay. Total cost on Eclipse was lowered by 100 gold. Same reason. It's just less gold, the same build path. Updated. Cooldown for melee champions reduced from that it was 8 seconds, now 6 seconds. So that's just a big buff, quite a big buff on that. It depends on the use case, how much you go in and out of combat. Portal's Claw, same thing, 100 less gold. That's all it was. Same item build. Active. The dash deals 65 plus 25% bonus AD. That's what it used to be. Now it's 75 plus 30. It's the same. It's the same buff. It's 10 more base and 5% more bonus. You almost Ghostplay got 100 more gold because everyone's just rushing item for like snowballs. Runes new runes first strike. Let's read the what I say. First strike is a new inspiration keystone that gives you a huge damage and gold boost when you strike an enemy champion first, but nothing if they hit you first. It's been great for artillery champions and assassins during playtests, and we are excited to see you experiment with it. You can read more details behind its design here. First strike passive. Basic attacks are abilities against an enemy champion within 0.25 seconds of entering champion combat. Grants. This is weird. It says what? Whatever. Base attacks are abilities against an enemy champion within 0.25 seconds of entering champion combat. Grants 5 gold and first strike for 3 seconds. Causing you to deal 10% extra damage against champions and granting 100%, 70% for ranged champions of bonus damage dealt as gold. 25 to 15-second cooldown, levels 1 through 18. Not second strike. If an enemy strikes you first strike still goes on cooldown without providing any of its bonuses. Unlike Banshee's Veil, subsequent damage doesn't keep restoring the cooldown. So, I'm guessing, like, if you, let's say I'm Zed and I ult in, I think if they hit me, I can still proc it within 0.25 seconds. I think that's all that means where it says, within 0.25 seconds. So, I'll give 5 gold and first strike for 3 seconds. So, you get 5 gold, so poking gives you gold. Causing a deal 10% extra damage against champions. That's interesting. What the Woof. And and granting 100% like for melee, a bonus damage dealt as gold. So if I deal 1,000 damage, like a big burst for 3 seconds, like a 1,000 damage is possible. Wow, that's what? Yeah. So you well, it's not a whole lot because so if I deal 1,000 damage, I'll get 10% more damage. That's 100 gold, and oh wait, granting 100. What the? My range I think is actually extremely strong. Causing so let's say I go on someone, I deal 1,000 damage. So since I dealt 1,000 damage, I get 10% extra damage. So that 10% extra is now 1,100. So 100% of the bonus damage. So I dealt 100 bonus damage. What the fuck? That's fucking crazy. Man, this rune just seems really good on assassins. Whew. Sorry, that was loud. But yeah, that just seems a bit nuts. Like you can also like the thing is that you deal 10% extra damage to any champion for 3 seconds, and it's not just that one champion you hit; it's any other champion. So big AOE's. Man, it sounds a bit busted. I'm gonna be absolutely honest. It's just kind of gold generated from nowhere. Like even early game, if you go on someone first, 300 damage, 10% bonus 30. Yes, whew, like it does damage. Like whew, I don't know. It sounds pretty nuts in all honesty. Yeah, very good on assassins, very good on artillery. So yeah, you need to hit first though. So Champions like Evelyn can be very strong. You can potentially also play around the rune like, oh, Assassin's Chase. You can just hit them. You can hit them, but again, they have a 0.25 seconds time to hit you back to actually proc it. Because once it's proc, then you can't do anything. Um, oh, they removed the Omni Stone. That's sad. With the introduction of First Strike, it's also time to say goodbye to prototype Omni Stone. A Houston had never really found a place in most players' hearts. Its rules were too complex, and tinkering with it risks making it harder to master. This left us in a tough spot where we couldn't really safely buff it because of the potential to warp gameplay in ways we weren't comfortable with. Yeah, I try this item, but like, it's again, I think it's more of a lane item, and people just don't experiment with the lane. Like, I was doing it in Vi, but then like they buffed jungle, like the mana in jungle, so then I didn't really need it anymore. I liked it a lot on Vi before. I actually really liked it on Vi before. But yeah, it's more of a lane item, and laners aren't really that creative, I don't think. So that's kind of sad that that's got removed. R.I.P. That's very sad. Glacial Augment. Uh, Glacial Augment. Base attacks on hit periodically slow enemy champions. It's not that anymore. Now it's immobilizing enemy champion will cause 3 glacial rays to emanate from them towards you and other nearby enemy champions, creating frozen lines for a few seconds that slow enemies for 35%, plus 5% per 10% heal and shield power, plus 2% 100 per 100 AP, and plus 2% per 100% 100 bonus AD, and reduce your damage by 50% against your allies, not including yourself. Okay, so it's like, again, it's already support issue. It's not really about you. The frozen lines last for 3 plus 1% of the final duration of the mobilizing effect seconds. That's interesting. So if I have a 2-second stun, it'll last 5 seconds. Remove freeze ray, so to remove the active item portion. What's the variety to say about it? Some champions were using Glacial Augment freeze ray to CC enemies before casting skill shots to guarantee a wombo combo, which, though clever, wasn't the intended design. This updated version should appeal to tanks and some enchanters without removing skill expression. We think it'd be particularly useful to defend allies or in-flight huge engagements. People aren't really using the active that much, honestly. What do I think about that? I mean, it already seems more of a, like they said, it's a tank and enchanter. But like, if it's a tank, it would, they usually want aftershock unless they can't proc aftershock that well. Again, you need to immobilize them too. It seems more of an enchanter item, honestly. So there you go. So you need to immobilize them. Can be good on Nico. Lethal tempo. So they removed what it did before. Now it's completely new. Gain 15% for melee, 5% for range, attack speed for 6 seconds when striking at least one enemy champion with each auto attack. This effect stacks up to 6 times. While this effect is at its cap, it also gains 50 for melee, 100%, 100 for ranged. Attack range increases your attack speed cap from 2.5 to 10. So that's actually nuts. The attack range thing is huge. Yeah, it sounds like a really strong thing though. Before it was, what does it say? Let's go to the wiki because they didn't list the value of the old rune. It was 480 to 110% attack speed and skill all with level 18, so it's not as strong as you would think it would be. So unranged, it's quite a bit weaker, but for melee, it's quite a bit stronger. Because you can stack it 6 times. So you have 90% melee. Like, this doesn't even scale with level. So at level 1, you have 90% bonus attack speed. Range would only have 30. And when you have the cap, so you need an auto attack. While this effect has cap, you also gain 50 for melee, 100% range, auto range, and increase your attack speed cap from 2.5 to 10. Seems potentially very strong in melees, honestly. Like, I don't know. We need to try it out a little bit. I'm not. Again, it's definitely good on 80 carries just because the range bonus is quite nice. I guess it kind of depends on the champion though. But like, a champion like Viego and Shyvana can proc it very well, and the auto range might be useful. It'd be weird though to use, but like the amount of attack speed you get from this is absolutely insane. Like really insane actually, because it so you gain attack speed for 6 seconds with attacking at least one enemy champion with each auto attack. But then they say it stacks like when you're attacking more, does it keep refreshing? Like I don't know if it keeps refreshing or not, or if it has like they don't even really say if it has a cooldown. They don't like does it even have a cooldown? Like again, like there's just not enough information to even judge this because like does it have a cooldown? Uh, does each stack have a separate cooldown? Like or like once you have 6 seconds, like maybe you proc it, then once it wears out, then it has its own cooldown. We don't actually know, but like how they're wording this, it sounds like there's no cooldown. If there's no cooldown, it's mega busted. Like on champion like Viego can benefit a lot from this, because like that's just a lot of attack speed all of a sudden, which can do quite well. Um, Even champions that have like a lot of, because it is auto attack based, so you need to auto attack really fast. So quite, I don't know, it's interesting. Unaided carries is probably also really nice, but again, it wouldn't be good on champions like Jin. Um, any fast auto attackers are ways to auto attack with, so like Lucian and stuff. So yeah, like Lucian might like it a lot because his auto range is kind of bad. Um, some new game mode, remove Malphite and stuff. Yeah, we only care about the ultimate spellbook thing. So they're updating Jinx and stuff, and Jace and stuff, and Caitlyn. Oh yeah, this is the funny thing. So all chat, based on initial results since we originally disabled all chat in a few regions in patch 11.21, which I don't think was NA, which is sad. We're continuing to disable where it's already in effect, but we're not adding additional regions. From here on out, we'll message any per region changes to impacted regions only unless we got a global update to share. So yeah, I don't think all chat's actually being removed from NA, which is kind of sad. But I kind of hope it does, just because I don't know. I don't think it actually has a place, and I feel like it's important just to do things and just see what happens. But I don't know. We'll see. I have all chat disabled anyway, so I don't know. Whatever, honestly. Um, I like to know like the inner workings on why they decided. It might have just been kind of backlash because all the toxic people were like, oh, I don't like it, so whatever. And the season rewards. Um, it will be completed by December 16, Riot regions only. And that's all. Some Clash thing I don't care about. They're gonna give loot odds on the client itself instead of on a fact page, so that's nice. Now they're doing tool chip trackers. Bloodthirster will now track damage blocked by Bloodbearer. Gargoyle Soulplate will now track damage blocked by Monolith. Guardian's Horn, ARAM now tracks damage blocked by passive. Lord Dominus Regards now tracks bonus damage from Giant Slayer. Rapid Fire Can now tracks how many times extra range was utilized. Spear Visage now tracks bonus healing and shielding from Boundless Vitality. Storm Razor now tracks champions slowed by Paralyze. Runes Aftershock now tracks damage mitigated, but there's no tooltip for it. No. Bug fixes. So the important one was placing a passive harmless Scarecrow effigy as fail 6 while channeling Artist Crowstorm will no longer override his ultimate sound effects. That's a big clarity thing where people probably abuse that in some cases maybe, or maybe just been in each bug. What else? They fixed Zed's skin so that his Q will properly play the sound effect when hitting the same target. Fix the bug where Graves would receive a full fleet footwork healing if he targeted a champion with a base attack that is blocked by minions, so that's kind of funny. Lord Dominus Regards Giant Slayer passive will no longer work against structured monsters and minions. That was actually probably, I'm not sure if people were knowingly abusing that, but that's actually ridiculous. Like, you would absolutely melt Baron. They fixed the bug with Vice Q, Vault Breaker, so that it casts immediately after tapping the ability. I don't. I think this is the bug where like if you tap it, your auto attack wouldn't go off. But like I never actually had this issue because I always click. But I guess maybe it wasn't going. I don't know. Fix the bug where Trimmer could get executed during his aura Undying Rage upon healing from a Kindred aura lands Respite. That's kind of funny. Fix the bug where Kai'Sa could not dash to mark targets with aura killer instinct unless she had learned Q. Her Q. What? Who the hell learned that? That's weird. So that's a really weird bug. Who the heck wouldn't have their Q on Kai'Sa by level 6? Whew, that's a really weird bug. Fix, fix the bug where Volbear's Dex attack would sometimes fail to stun if he had casted his Aura Stormbringer during his Q Thundering Smash. Fix the bug where Lee Sin's passive Fury would sometimes not take effect if he had cast a Q, Resonating Strike, or E during a base attack. So if you're like smashing your keyboard, yeah, you just wouldn't benefit from your passive attack speed, which is kind of funny. Kane's current transformation stats will probably display in team chat when he pings his own portrait. Yorick's E Morning Mist tooltip now displays his AP ratio. The sound effect of his Q Vault Breaker Dash has been restored. Gallia's death animation where he turns to stone has been restored, and upcoming skins. Okay, yeah, that's really it. This was really long. I mean, I'll be honest, it's kind of timid. I think the biggest change is just like the dragons. Honestly, everything else is kind of whatever. Uh, Frostfire is really strong. That arc thing is really strong, and that new crown things if you're behind or just getting bursted. So that's pretty much it. If you liked it, leave a comment and stuff. Bye.